Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing The Chi Season 5, Episode 9. So this episode comes on with Keisha running, and Emmett is running behind her trying to catch up. Emmett says he has a cramp, so he wants to sit down. So when they do sit down, Emmett tells Keisha that he wants to talk to her. So he had this look on his face like he had some type of guilt. So Keisha was like, come on, Emmett, please don't disappoint me. He says, I didn't. He tells her Tiff tried to fuck him. She said, are you serious? Keisha asks, what did you do? He said, I turned my back when she tried to kiss me, and I told her I was in a relationship. And he did. And so Keisha says she knows that she could trust Emmett, but she basically did not know that she could not trust Tiffany. I don't know how the hell she did not know that she could not trust Tiff, because Tiff couldn't trust you, honey. What the hell you think this is? So Jada and Darnell were having a conversation about the wedding. So Jada says they're not having a big wedding. Darnell has been married 3 damn times, y'all. I was like, what in the hell? He says this is his finale, so he wants to go out with a bang. And Jada is like, no, she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to dip into her savings for that. Darnell says that's what his savings is for. So she's like, no, she'd rather have a small, intimate, ceremony with family and friends in someone's backyard. So Darnell does agree. But before that, he's all talking about his cousins and all this. Jada's like, no, we're not doing that. But she does say, she'd rather spend that money for their future. However, ma'am, you guys are in the future. And I feel like you only live once, so go ahead and live it up. So Tracy asks his dude, was he moving money out of the Rock? He says, what? Of course not. She says, so why is their money missing? He says he doesn't know. He didn't take it. She asks, was it Rosalind? He says, Rosalind put her own money into it. Why would she take from it? She says, then it's Q. So basically, Q is taking money out of the Rock. Q has I want to say a gambling addiction, because he's constantly going to the casino. And so he's a problem. So she feels like, you brought Q into the situation, so you need to go figure it out. So when she was like, he didn't have a choice but to figure it out, he was like, excuse me, y'all, I was dying. It was just funny how he said it. So Fatima says she's not a fetish. Trigg said he knows she's not. So they're going back and forth with the same shit. However, some man texts Fatima's phone. So Trigg is like, is this why you want me to go? So Fatima is asking him, why did he get tints on his windows? And he's saying he wants to be a good man. She's like, you can't be a good man with me. So he's got his windows tinted for security purposes only. That's what he said. But she thinks it's because he's trying to hide her. So it's just the same shit. Same shit, different episode, basically. But she does tell Trigg to get out. And when she told Trigg to get out, she had that nigga voice on, y'all. She was like, get out. I was like, oh shit, Trigg, get the hell up out of there. Don't play. Don't you forgot that's a man. And y'all, I'm sorry, but that scared me. It scared me. So Emmett and Keisha are coming back from running. So Emmett asks Keisha, what's wrong? So Keisha basically says, why didn't you tell me sooner? He said he didn't think that it was the right time. So Keisha's like, well, when is? So he's like, you're right. He was like, but he didn't want her to be mad at, him and Tiff. So she says, if you didn't do anything, why would I be mad at you? So they're basically going back and forth, and she lets Emmett know that she wants to have a conversation with Tiffany. So he's like, do I have to be there? She's like, no, it's going to be girl. So she starts smiling. Emmett is like, what? She says this is the first time she feels like she's in a real relationship. He says this is the first time he feels like he's in a healthy one. So I'm just glad they got past this. I'm glad she didn't feel like he was lying. I'm glad they didn't have no back and forth. She was upset because he waited, but he did tell. So Emmett is coming a long way. So yeah, Emmett, yeah. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So Nina is basically putting Kevin's laundry away, and she begins to snoop around his room. She sees that he has a new controller, and it's kind of like gold. I really like that controller. He has, different shoes now, and he has a $500 jacket. Kevin just doing it big. So she goes to put his socks away, and she finds a stash of money. So she goes and tells Dre basically that Kevin is selling dope and she knows it. And Dre is like, let's just ask, where he got the money from. Don't assume anything. But she's just really persistent about this. He's selling dope. Like, I hated it. I hated everything about it. So Papa goes to Jake's house. Jake immediately asks, so you really hanging with that nigga Bakari? Like, Jake, calm down. So Papa is like, look, we're all God's children. So Papa does ask, how is Gemma? Jake is like, how do you think? Jake was real aggressive. So they're going back and forth. Jake is basically like, you're not supposed to mess with Bakari because I don't like Bakari. And so Papa is like, well, you and Kevin have not been there for me. Y'all treat me like a sidekick. Y'all have been wrapped up into y'all stupid girlfriends. And y'all just act like I don't even exist anymore. So, Bakari has been there for me. So don't be mad because I'm hanging with somebody that's there for me. You can't even comment if you're not even going to be a true friend. When I say Papa ate Jake ass up and left Jake standing there looking crazy, y'all, I was like, yes, Papa. Yes. He was like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, stand your ground. Stand your ground. So Nuck says, long time no see. Dude, I asked Nuck how he's been. So Nuck says, homeless. Because y'all know, dude, I put Nuck out their house. So he's like, I'm pretty sure you found somewhere to stay by now. So he said he had. But anyway, dude is looking for Q. So he's like, where's Q? He said he's at the casino. Dude is like, which one? He's like, he can't say. He's like, why? He's like, because he has a problem and he does not want anyone to know that he has a problem, basically. So basically, Nuck is telling Dude to kill Q so he could take over. So Dude is like, look, you have no idea what you're asking. Like, Dude, you know damn well that's what you've been wanting to do. I said that in my first review. He been wanting to kill Q because he don't like taking orders from nobody. Rob brings Tiff breakfast in bed. And I'm just like, did you put a little poison in that shit? Because this bitch don't deserve nothing. But she does blurt out, I tried to fuck Emmy. He's like, damn, God, good morning to you too. She says she couldn't keep it from him anymore. He says when? She says on Valentine's Day. He says, damn, Tiff, you ain't shit. She says she didn't go along. She didn't go along with it. He says, is it because you stopped or because he said no? She said, because he said no. So Rob is like, wow. She says, don't rub it in. He's like, he's not. But he's glad someone has some self-control. He does ask her, was it just a power play? Like, are you still in love with him? She's like, no. He says, so what was it? Was it a power play? That's exactly what it was. She just wanted to tell Keisha, I told you so. I told you that he still wasn't shit. And the fact that he did not go through with it is letting you know that he is something. He has changed. And she can't take that. Anyway, she does ask Rob, why is he so calm? And he's like, because he smokes a lot of weed. And, he was brought up in a house with a lot of yelling. And it doesn't solve anything. So they basically got past it. I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't put her ass out. But whatever, Rob. Do you? So Nina says, I'm going to ask you one question and you better not lie. She asks, was Kevin selling dope? Kevin says, hell no. She says, don't curse at me. He says, since when is hell a curse word? Dre says, your mom found all this cash in your room. Where are you getting it from? So he says, gaming. Nina says, do you think I'm crazy, basically? She says she finds it hard to believe that someone is paying him to play video games. He says, well, Mom, is real. He says some people are getting rich off of it. She says, so who's paying you? He says it's a corporation. He said they sponsor the events and people come out to play. He said, and your son is a part of the league. Nina says she doesn't believe him. Dre says, can you show us proof? He said, what proof? He said they're paying cash. Nina asks, can they go to one of the events? He says, this is not something at someone's house. You have to buy tickets or whatever. So Dre is saying, well, we'll come out, we'll buy tickets, and we'll support. Kevin is saying no. He said, this is for me. And so I feel like at that moment, he should have just said, yeah, I'll allow y'all to come out so y'all can see that I'm not lying and y'all can get the hell up off my back and I can still receive this money. Instead, he storms off and he's like, no, this is for me. And he just made it better for himself. So Shaw asks T ever can he talk to her. So she's like, what's up? He said he knows she's good at suppressing her feelings, but he has a lot pinned up. So he's basically saying, he was like, yeah, you know that thing that happened between us the other night? I know it was magical and electrical, but it can't happen again. So Sierra's like, she wasn't planning on it. So he's like, wait a minute, you're not heartbroken? She said, no. He said, so you don't care about me? She was like, I think you're nice. He asked, do you love Victor? She's like, no, he's an opportunity. He's like, goddamn, you don't have any feelings. So he's like, yeah, I forgot you was effing Rosalind. She's like, she does what she has to do to get nice things, basically. So she's an opportunist. We all knew that. And Shaw, you should have knew that. Like, get out of here. She probably only slept with Shaw to get pregnant. That's what I'm getting with it. Because she knew Victor is not interested in her at all. Like, at all. He don't even look twice at that woman. So Duda says it makes sense. Kill Q, take Nuck under his wing, find a kid to be his eyes on the street, get Victor into city council, and then he has eyes everywhere. Tracy says he's sounding a lot like his old self lately. He says maybe that's who I am. She said it doesn't have to be. So he says if Victor is the light, then he's the darkness. She says, or you can let Q do that. Basically, he says, no, Q can't see past his addiction. He said he's going to put that old motherfucker out his misery. She says, well, that's still my son's father. He says, yeah, but your son is gone. And at that moment, I was like, really, dude? Are you really that caught up in yourself, like, that you really would say something like that? She's supposed to be somebody you love, but dude, don't care about nobody but himself. And that's just that. Deja welcomes Keisha and Emmett into the art exhibit. She asks, how did they hear about it? Emmett says, Master Marshawn. Keisha said, anything that man suggests, Emmett is going to do. So Deja asks, was they looking to buy? Emmett says, no, we're just looking. So Keisha says, maybe one day. So basically, Deja is saying, buying paintings is a great investment for a young couple. She says Keisha tells her basically, well, they're not doing that right now because between the two, they have 4 kids and they have to invest in the kids. So the way Emmett was looking at this one painting, the one where she said that it was a Chicago native that created it, I feel like he's going to surprise Keisha with it. That's the look that he was giving. Because he was like, well, Smokey's is doing good and whatever. But the way she was looking at it was like, it was so amazing. And he just wants to make Keisha happy. So I think he's going to buy that painting. So this lady is basically trying to convince Dudas to invest in Smokies and create another one in New York. So I just pray to God that he does not go effing with my Emmett. Leave Emmett alone. Because the way he did Brandon, it was so petty. Leave Emmett alone and stay the hell away. So Jake tells Kevin, I can't believe your mom thinks you're cool enough to sell drugs. Like, Jake, stop. Anyway, they hear a knock at the door. Maisha is like, Jake, at the door. Jake is like, look, we're working over here. Y'all get the door. Gemma goes and gets the door. She opens it. She sees that it's Bakari. She's like, oh, shit. He's like, are you all right? He ain't never get up to see if she was all right, though. But anyway, she tells Bakari to come on in. So Jake is like, oh, hell no, when he sees that it's Bakari. And he's like, get the fuck out my house. Gemma says, no, he can stay. Jake says, this ain't your house. So he asks Bakari, what the fuck did he want? Bakari said he just wanted to apologize. Gemma says, it wasn't your fault. Jake is like, this is the nigga that was shooting. How was it not his fault? But anyway, Gemma talks to him. And she says she appreciates him coming by to say he apologizes. And she gives him a hug. And Jake is just looking like, what the fuck is going on here? I ain't like all that extra shit. Like, you could have just been like, all right, I accept your apology. Now, you have to leave. But she was too, she's too friendly. And I hate that. I do not like a friendly little girl. Master Marshawn comes into Smokey's. And Emmett is so excited. He says he didn't recognize him without the dashiki. Master Marshawn says, I own other clothes. So Emmett tells him, you helped me with so much through these past years or whatever. So anyway, Emmett tells him he could get whatever he wants off the menu for free. So the girl walks up behind him and says, 2 free millies. So Master Marshawn is like, look, I told you to wait in a car. She's like, I missed you. So he's like, look, I'm talking to a fan. She says, oh, I forgot you're supposed to be celibate. He was like, my motto, my dick deserves the better. So she's like, yeah, I know, I helped you create it. I'm like, you know what, that is so unnecessary. But anyway, Emmett was pissed off. So she goes out to go get back in the car, and I just could not stop laughing when Emmett was like, "You out here fucking? That's your woman." So he tells him basically that he didn't have any friends, and he said he jumped online and basically created Mesa Marchand, and all of a sudden he's a leader of this huge community. So he said he had friends and followers, and it felt good. Emmett said, "So you're just lying to have friends, basically." So he asked, "Did you finish the challenge?" He said, "Hell no." He tells Mr. Marchand basically, he did challenge him to find his woman. So he's like, "Boy, I am a hero." Jake was so funny on this part, y'all. Talking about nigga, please. However, Papa and Jake, they do mend their friendship on Papa's pulpit. Papa just lets him know, he wants to communicate, and he felt some type of way when he did not know about Gemma being pregnant. Jake lets him know, he didn't know what he was going to do. And so Papa says he apologizes for taking it so personal, but they do say, that they're going to be, friends. And Jake says basically he will do better. Lene is laying in the bed, and she hears a tap on her window, and it's Bakari. So she yells through the window, "Did you handle your business?" So he's like, "Yeah." So he comes in, sits on the floor, and so he has some lemonade and some sunflower seeds. So she's like, "You stopped at the store." He's like, "Yeah." He didn't want to come empty-handed, but nigga, do you have 2 lemonades or do you have 1? So you just might as well came empty-handed if she has to take a sip of your lemonade and not. It was just too much, y'all. But anyway, they have a conversation, and he asks Lene, does she have dreams? And so he was like, he's been thinking about, his future. And so he was like, he's had a crazy life. Lene lets him know, you should write a book. And so he agrees. So Kevin asks Simone to hold his money, basically because his parents think that he's selling drugs. So he don't want to stash it at his house with his parents. So he asks her to hold it until he moves. So she looks in the bed talking about, "Do you know how many crystals I can buy with that?" Do y'all think that she's going to spend the money? Comment down below. So Dante calls Tiff, and so Tiff is like, "How may I help you?" So he's like, "Damn, why so professional?" But he looks at her background, he sees that it's different. So he asks her if she's single. So she's like, "No, I'm living with someone right now." So he says a nigga or a bitch. So she's like, he's more than my nigga. So Dante is like, "I'm happy for you." So she's like, "No, you're not." Anyway, Rob comes and gets in the camera or whatever. So he's like, "Goddamn nigga, what you 6'8"? So Rob is like, "No, I'm 6'9", shorty." So anyway, she asked him what did he want. He said he wanted some kush. And so I feel like if Rob was not there, that she would have gave Dante a little more conversation. But because she's trying to prove her loyalty to Rob, she's going to do what she has to do. So Darnell hands Jada a handwritten check. He says this is for the Rock Center. So she's all excited. She's like, Tracy is going to appreciate this. He's like, she better. So basically, because they're not having a big wedding, he had extra money, left over. So he wanted it to go to somewhere that really needed it, which was the Rock Center. I think that was really nice of him. So Shaw goes in the room and asks Vic, is he good? Because, Vic is still sad about what happened with Fatima. He's basically stuck on what he really wants to do. So he's like going back and forth with, he doesn't want people to like him for someone that he's not. But he doesn't want to throw it all away because he worked hard for this. And so Shaw tells him basically, he'd rather for him to lose from the truth than him win from a lie. And I really appreciate him saying that. However, it was funny when Shaw walked in the room talking about, "Oh, you feel betrayed?" Vic is like, "What? What are you talking about?" But I want to know, when is he going to tell Vic about Tiara? Even though Vic does not like Tiara like that, I feel like Shaw should have been said something. Shaw is standing outside, and Bakari walks up on Shaw, and he asks Shaw, "Are you okay?" So Shaw says he's better now. Shaw asks, "How is he doing?" So Bakari is like, "I'm doing really good." Shaw says, "I can tell." He says, "You look different." he said he's figured out what he wants to do, basically what his dream was. So he says he wants to write a book about his life. So Shaw tells him basically, well, don't have the police looking for you. So Bakari is like, I'm not. He said he's going to change the characters and all that stuff. So Shaw walks over to the car, and so Bakari is like, what about you? So Shaw hands Bakari the CD. He said, do you know what this is? Bakari is like, no. I know damn well CDs is not that old. They still have CDs in the store. So how the hell you don't know what a CD is? Anyway, he tells Bakari that he wants to create a vintage shop. So he was like, why the hell you want to sell old shit? He's like, because that was like a time of his life when he just felt free. So anyway, Bakari says, well, I'm going to come to your vintage shop. And Shaw is like, well, I'm going to buy your book. So Keisha is showing EJ flashcards. He answers all of them correctly. So Keisha gets up and starts dancing. Go EJ, you're brilliant. Go EJ, you're brilliant. So EJ says, well, call mommy and tell her. So Keisha gets this look on her face. So she tells EJ, well, I'll tell your daddy to tell your mommy when she comes to pick you up. So EJ's like, okay, well, he's good with that. I just hate that they're going through this. It's just too much. Like, it could be something so simple as a conversation and y'all could have these blended families, but it's just a whole bunch of immature shit going on. I understand why Tiff is mad, so it may take her some time, but I just wish they would get it together. Duda knocks on Q's door. Q opens the door and he says, you're early, young blood. Is there a reason why? And then you hear the 2 gunshots go off. He shot Q in the chest. So as Q is laying on the floor, Duda is like walking through his house to make sure nobody else is there. And so Q is on the ground. He's like, I knew you wasn't shit. And Duda looks over him and starts smiling.